live via Skype and brought to you via YouTube. It's the hashtag Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Turnbuckle Jim, and with me, the 2016 to my 2015.
Fast count, and I promise you I will be back. I will be rebuilt.
Let's hope so. So this year we're just going to finish out doing our top
Whatever.
categories of 2015. And kind of do a quick year in review and review the last Raw of 2015. You ready, Bri?
Of course.
All right. And also, if you can get a little bit closer to the mic, man, you're coming a little distant for some reason.
How about now?
Still a little low.
Well, I'm efforting.
Let me see if I can turn you up on my speakers. Yeah.
Yeah, so my volume's all the way up, Chief.
Yeah. Well.
I don't know. I mean, I'm doing the best I can.
Yeah, you're good. Sounding better now. So. Good enough for me. All right, so let's just start with our best of 2015. It wasn't that bad of a year, I guess, but overall, grade-wise, what would you give the WWE? Not setting you up or anything like that, but
A definite C.
you definitely a C. Yeah, I have to agree with you. I think a C is probably the best they did. Really, um, it wasn't a bad year for them, but it wasn't a good year for them either. They just really they could have just done a lot better, I think. And the wrestling was good, but the booking was just terrible for the promotion overall.
Well, yeah, okay, so case in point, how about the Raw from last night?
Yeah,
I mean, John Cena comes back and no one cares. Um, he comes back and forces Del Rio into a title match with some stupid, like, well, I'm gonna call you names until you give me what I want. And then he loses. And then what happens? Roman Reigns comes out and beats the League of Nations up again, like he does every single week.
right.
So yeah, it's very predictable, very boring writing, just all around. Again, Sting had no business losing at WrestleMania.
Well, he's got to bury somebody somehow. Yeah. Yeah, I think Raw definitely showed everything that was really bad. There was just some lame segments and matches didn't make much sense the way they unfolded. They did a good Divas match, but man, it was just the crowd was just not into it because of the lack of storytelling, if you ask me. So
Well,
yeah,
okay. One of the problems I have. Okay, first, whoop to do moment. Big Show is in the Royal Rumble.
number one in the Royal Rumble too.
Well, they haven't confirmed that. Like, they honestly shouldn't tell you who's gonna be number one. It takes the fun out of it. Like, you remember like those years when like Benoit and Guerrero started it, or like Jericho and Shawn Michaels were one and two.
Yeah.
Like, if you start out with Big Show, you're just setting a shit tone for the rest of the Rumble.
Yeah, or you have like the same guy come out and just like beat the crap out of Big Show and eliminate him first. I think that would be kind of cool. But yeah, these guys, I don't know why they keep on pushing the Big Show to be this monster, and then just completely crap on him by having losing to Brock Lesnar so easily, or looking bad against Ryback. So
Ironclad contract. But
don't want to lose him again.
this would only make sense if like Daniel Bryan too.
Mhm. Yeah, that'd be a good way to bring back Daniel Bryan. So anyway, since we're kind of jumping on Raw right now, overall, what did you like anything about it, or was it all pretty much same old crap?
Okay, I'm confused about this whole thing. So like McMahon comes out, fakes an injury or whatever, and demands that Roman gets arrested, but he gets arrested.
Yeah, that made no. I was only listening to it because I was also doing other things too in the house. And then I like peek in. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Like, now he's injured after going into some kind of crazy storyline with his uncles and making them like work for peanuts or something like that. And
Oh yeah, that's when he told Roman Reigns he was like one generation away from having a bone in his nose or something like that.
yeah, just completely offensive but hilarious. Um, and then going and just like I don't know what they're going for there. To be honest with you, it was. I mean, I think they just wanted to have like a throwback moment to the Attitude Era and have like Stone Cold Steve Austin like doing that kind of not being arrested antics and Vince McMahon being arrested and Vince McMahon is pissed. You can only go to the well so often, and believe me, that was just not a good not a good way for to put over Roman Reigns. I honestly don't know what their plan is with the Vince McMahon versus like Roman Reigns, but if this is how they want to put him over by having him being that cocky rebel, then it works, but it's definitely not original.
The problem I have here is it's setting up Roman and Triple H because Vince McMahon came back faster from a Roman Reigns beatdown than Triple H did. And what does that really say? Like, what are they saving Triple H for? You have to think it's something to do with Roman Reigns at some point, whether
Yeah.
it be Rumble or whatever. But okay, so if he beats up the COO, puts him in the hospital, beats up Vince McMahon, and apparently Stephanie had like some really annoying voice last night.
Yeah, her screaming was definitely terrible.
So, what the only thing that makes this not believable to me is why wouldn't they just strip him of the belt already?
Instead of having him, yeah, I honestly don't know. Like trying to get him to lose the belt without stripping it. I don't know.
Like,
It's
this,
it's it's nonsensical storytelling, and believe me, we got plenty of stuff to cover tonight without going through that in detail. But would you have an overall grade for Raw?
I don't know, crap. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks was the best thing about the night.
That was the best thing, and the crowd was yelling that was boring. Fuck you, Brooklyn, and yeah, seriously, I honestly don't know what they were thinking. Chanting boring. That's just disrespectful.
Here's the thing. This has bugged me forever, and last night was a case of it. It's wrestling, obviously,
Mm,
and it's one of those things where you have to suspend your disbelief and everything like that. But when
right.
you come into figurative, real or not law enforcement, it should never be involved. Like, I can throw you off a ladder, but if you slap me in the face, I can sue you for assault and figuratively arrested. Like, that should never, like, there should be no fake cops, security, no fake lawsuits, assaults, whatever. None of that should ever make its way into a wrestler's mouth, a storyline, anything. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to remember like they've ever done a good angle with somebody being arrested. Maybe like the Mountie losing at SummerSlam and having to go to jail.
That's
Um,
totally it.
yeah, that was good. Um,
Okay, well, what about last year, or was it the year before, when like Triple H had Daniel Bryan, quote unquote, arrested? He's like, "Do you think these are real cops?" And he just starts kicking his ass.
yeah, that was funny. That I think was pretty funny. But yeah, pretty much like, every single like storyline they've ever done that involves law enforcement is just garbage. Yeah,
Think about it. So McMahon gets pushed down. He threatens legal action.
right.
Yes, Stephanie beats the crap out of an announcer last week. Doesn't get anything done to
There's
herself.
nothing done. Yeah, that's a good point. It's just weird that they there's no one even address it because yeah, you'd think that would be something that they would talk about.
Or even the fact that she slapped Roman Reigns so many times that she left an imprint on his face.
Yeah.
I think like if it stays for longer than 30 minutes, it's considered some kind of assault at least.
Well, let's just face it. Like professional wrestling is kind of like a very gray area when it comes to um, legal jurisdiction, I should say. It's just it's definitely not the best way for them to put anything over.
It could be something as simple as Linda and Stephanie giving up their stake in the company to Stone Cold long enough for him to wrestle his stake in the company against Vince and Shane for their stake in the company, and then Vince leaves, and then Shane becomes 100% owner of the WWF long enough for everybody to get their pieces back. See what I mean? Like, it's all crap.
Well, when you're a professional wrestling fan for long enough, that pretty much happens. Yeah, I would agree with you. The storyline last night was pretty much crap. Definitely insulted our intelligences. The Vince McMahon mugshot though, that was kind of worth it. I thought that was pretty hilarious, but yeah, for the most part, it was very bad. Um,
Are you okay? What'd you think about John Cena coming back?
You know, I miss Cena. I miss his enthusiasm, his energy. He, see what you will about him, but the man knows how to work a microphone and work up a crowd. And that's something that a lot of people in the locker room just do not have, especially with quote unquote baby faces.
Dude, all he does is come out there. He's very like, and like he just yells and screams and just says all sorts of things. And it, his promos are all the same.
Well, was Stone Cold Steve Austin any different, really?
Well, he was until the what chance.
What? Yeah, that was the end of his career there.
I'm gonna drink me a beer and kick some ass. That's the bottom line. Like that was it. Like, but Cena's like the same thing except for I want to make a new shirt with a new color on it. Like, I'm surprised that they didn't let him get the belt back because annoying as he is, the Open Challenge wasn't the worst thing.
No, it was pretty good. That was one of the better highlights of 2015, I think. Um, so switching gears here, who would you put as the top wrestler, superstar of 2015?
You know what? I already have mine, but I'd like to hear yours.
Mine's pretty easy. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins. So despite getting injured in the part of the year, he was in several matches that were considered match of the year candidates. So definitely going with him.
I agree, just because the promotion was built around him.
Yeah.
I mean, despite Lesnar's Undertaker matches and everything like that, it was all about Seth Rollins, and I think he did a pretty good job.
I think he did a good job carrying the company, carrying the belt, putting on matches with a good variety of opponents, and it just really sucks to see him. Only reason why he had to give up the belt is because he got injured, which unfortunately seems to be seems to be pretty common these days among wrestlers.
The thing is, he's like his wrestling overshadowed really bad story writing as far as like his Cena angle, or getting his ass beat by Brock Lesnar,
Yeah,
or you know his stupid feud with Kane or J&J Security. Like he overcame so many bad storyline angles, except Dean Ambrose, to be the best that they had. And so hats off.
yeah, he definitely put up a good show against some unfortunately yeah, some very bad storylines. Great wrestling matches, but yeah, I honestly would like to see him come back and mix it up, do something different. Don't be the bad guy. He can pretty much do his you know wrestle babyface heel. See what he can do. Really, not exactly a limited skill set there. What would you give Diva of the Year?
Damn it.
Or should I say female wrestler of the year, not Diva of the Year. Diva is just disrespectful.
See, shit. Like, it's not fair. Because there's so many good ones. I Sasha Banks, I would think.
Sasha Banks. Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. She definitely had like two of the best matches of the year. Um, and she really helped build out the women's division in NXT, and it was already built up, but she built it up even more with her title reign.
And even
Um,
with Bailey, like Bailey would be a great choice, but I haven't seen her matches since Sasha Banks. So I
really,
haven't.
didn't you watch NXT Takeover London?
Well, no, because I knew she was gonna win. So,
But yeah, but how she wins it, won it though was pretty awesome.
so would you put her ahead of Sasha Banks?
I still got to give it to Sasha. I think Bailey is like a solid number two, but Sasha is still number one. Just the way that the matches she's had, she definitely has a lot more personality. I think. Well, yeah, she Bailey's got a lot of personality too, but Sasha's definitely got a very strong character. Wish they would develop it more, especially in the Divas roster. But I think she's definitely definitely had the best year out of anybody in any of the female wrestlers in the company.
Well, the problem I have with that is once she came over to the main roster, it was all Charlotte, Becky Lynch, and Paige.
Yeah.
And I mean, what about Nikki Bella?
Uh, Nikki Bella.
300 days as champ.
Yeah, still, it was just one big fu to AJ Lee.
Well, sure, but still, she held the belt for 300 days.
She did. Yeah, I can't argue with that. But yeah, still, I mean, it wasn't a. I mean, she hardly defended the belt. Her matches were poo-poo unless they were taking on like somebody like Paige, and yeah, it was not a good title run.
So, okay, what would you give the Divas Revolution overall?
I was gonna give it a D for Divas. Um, yeah, I would give it a C minus to be honest with you. It had a great it's got a great idea. I would like to see more female wrestling. Are you okay over there? It sounds like you're ripping up duct tape.
Sorry, I knocked my headphones around.
That happens. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, I was really disappointed by that because the fact that the Divas Revolution also included lots of divas who just didn't fit in, like Natalia, like she didn't really fit anywhere. Paige turned her team pretty quickly. They didn't. I mean, they really didn't pull off any great matches in this Divas Revolution. So I like the idea. I love the concept. I like a lot of the female wrestlers involved. But in the end of the day, I mean, it just kind of didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. And I don't think it turned out the way that the WWE you know, wanted it to turn out either.
Oh, the problem is you could easily take any of the Divas matches minus the bellas. If you had like Charlotte or Sasha Banks and Charlotte or whatever, they could main event Raw, and they should main event Raw.
Mm.
But they don't. I think that's what holds them back is that they're still, no matter how many women you bring to the main roster, they're still pigeonholed into if you're not feuding for the title, what you do doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, they really have not developed any storylines unless it's built around the title, which is pretty crappy. Yeah, even like NXT, look at that. They had like two women's matches in their London takeover, and they're both great. And yeah, I mean, yeah, they didn't. Not all the storylines have to revolve around the title.
Can you remember when they had a non-female title match on a pay-per-view that wasn't like a bra and panties or something stupid like stepmother versus stepdaughter
Oh
bullshit?
God. Lesbians versus lesbians. Everybody's making out now. To be honest with you, I can't. Hopefully the Divas Revolution will change that. At least they're doing like non-title matches on Raw that or they're giving them 20 minutes to do that, which they really should give them more time. But yeah, I can't remember anything besides like a pre-show. So
Well, there you go.
yeah. Um, so tag team of the year.
Hmm. I'll let you do it because I
Oh man, you
have
always
some. No, because we're unanimous on
we are
this.
unanimously decided. Maybe because one person has been dominant in our conversations. But yeah, definitely gotta say New Day. Ever since their heel turn, they first won the belts, they've been on fire.
Sorry,
They found the what was that?
how do you say it?
New Day.
Thank you, thank
Yep.
you.
The New Day. Yeah, I mean honestly, like once at first they started out as like this positive, well-meaning group, and then they turned heel and finally learned their characters, or they finally found their characters what they wanted to be, and they just took off. And honestly, they're the best damn thing on the WWE today.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm curious what they're gonna do now because I think with Sin Cara hurt, they're not feuding with the Lucha Dragons anymore. I think Sin Cara separated his shoulder. If I'm not
Something like
mistaken.
that. Yeah, he definitely hurt himself stupidly lifting up Big E.
Well, true, but so unless it's setting up, I mean, if it sets up to where they fight, see if they had like a triple, you know what? Have like a TLC match like the Dudleys, Usos, and New Day for Mania or something like that.
I think that'd be pretty cool. And finally have the Dudleys win 10 times and finally win a TLC match.
Yeah, and as much as the Dudleys win the belts would have been nice, and I still think they should. I mean, what else have we had? I mean, they kept the Usos on TV because one of the dudes was hurt. Lucha Dragons weren't ready. Like the Ascension was crap. Really, New Day is the only thing they had besides. And to be fair, if it wasn't for Samoa Joe breaking Tyson Kidd's neck, this might be a whole different conversation.
Yeah, true, true. So what was your favorite match of the year?
Oh damn.
I know it's we would have if we had more time we would have gone with the whole like best top 10 matches of the year. Can you just well just go ahead and if you can from memory, if that's possible, can you just like list the top your favorite matches of 2015?
Well, first one comes to mind is Alpha Robbery. Cena for the U.S. title under 10 minutes and kicking his ass. But no, I'm trying to remember which pay per view it was, but it was the Dean Ambrose Seth Rollins match where Ambrose wins the belt, but the ref reverses the decision.
Oh, it was
I don't know if it was like Money in the Bank or Battleground or Elimination Chamber or something like that.
Elimination Chamber. They think they had the ladder match, didn't they? So it was the
Yeah.
pay-per-view before that.
Okay.
That was like 2 weeks before time.
Whatever it was, that was there was that one. And honestly, as far as like matches go, I think hands down it was the Cena, Rollins, Lesnar triple threat from Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that was you can't argue with that one. That was really good. And yeah, I don't know if it hit his with that as match of the year, but that was like the first like really good match, and that was so nice. They put it on twice. That was rough, and the next day was just like, well, we can't do a program because we're snowed out. So here's the awesome match from last night.
Well, I just considering the other, I don't know what else you would think. Maybe the TLC tag team match where Kalisto does that move and bust the ladder up.
Yeah, yeah, that match was really good too. Other matches that come to mind. First time Owens took on Cena.
Yeah, that's a good choice. Not the other two times.
No, the other two times were sucky, but yeah, that first match there where he beat Cena cleanly was just awesome. Never been more surprised before as a wrestling fan, unless like Undertaker beats Brock Lesnar. And of course, Brock Lesnar and Undertaker, their two matches this year were both pretty good too. Um, I think pretty much for all most pay-per-views, all our specials, I think there was at least one good match in each of the cards. Definitely Bayley versus Sasha Banks come to mind at NXT Brooklyn.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that was really good. They had a lot of good matches on Raw too. Nothing really comes to mind as being like the best one because I think they always had kind of crappy main events, and that's one thing that really kind of sticks in your mind.
Well, I think if you're gonna do NXT, it's a whole separate category.
Oh
It's
my goodness, yeah, NXT. They've had so many good matches.
but
Um,
as far as that's concerned, I was thinking more like Neville and Sami Zayn for the title.
yeah. Well, actually, that was last year, wasn't it?
No, I thought it was this year, and then Neville went to the main roster, didn't
No,
he?
that was December of last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I thought Neville had it right, and okay, Kevin Owens took it like a week later.
Yeah, it was really quick. Like he beat Sami Zayn, unfortunately, really quickly. Yeah, Sami Zayn's 2015 was a pretty crappy year.
Yeah, thanks, John Cena.
um. Well, anyway, so moving on. Best pay per view of 2015.
Crap. Like, Hell in a Cell, maybe? Like, if not, it's not Hell in a Cell. It'd have to be like, it'd have to be WrestleMania. I think.
Yeah, WrestleMania was. I don't know. The thing with WrestleMania is they had a lot of like filler time that didn't feel that great. A lot of musical performances. I don't know, but they had like a few good matches at WrestleMania, but it wasn't like overall like the best product I think they could have put on. Um, I'm gonna go. Wait, this is maybe not like a actual pay per view, but NXT Brooklyn.
Well, yeah, every match on that thing was kick
Yeah, everything was kick-ass. They did some great storytelling with very limited material. And I don't think there was a single match in there that disappointed me.
No, and again, they let the women's match main event, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that was the next takeover they did was that one, but I mean that the women's match definitely stole the show. right, and then they had the ladder match between Kevin Owens and
Finn Balor.
Finn Balor, yeah, and that was just like, well, we have to follow that crap, and it was still awesome.
That match was phenomenal too.
Yeah, that was really good. So I'm gonna give it to that. I mean, I think that because that was almost 3 hours. Well, it was more than 2 hours, less than 3 hours. So it was maybe like 2.5 hours, and there's like, screw it, we can do as long as we want to. That whole weekend was just like insane. Just like between Brooklyn, NXT Brooklyn, SummerSlam, and Raw. After that, it was just like I'm wiped out. I can't watch any more wrestling.
All right. So how about this? What was your like? Why did they do this moment of the year?
What was my what?
Why did they do this? Which mean like why? Why did this happen? This made no sense. This is the dumbest thing I've possibly seen all year.
Oh, man, anything with Torito. That fucking Mexican bull thing just pissed me off.
Well, I mean, more so than I don't know, Jon Stewart costing Cena the title against Seth Rollins.
I don't know. Jon Stewart is a fine human being, and having him involved, yeah, it was kind of stupid. I give you that. It was.
Or how about the DX NWO involvement in the Sting Triple H match?
I would have liked that 10 years ago, not in 2015. Like those guys are well past their primes. Even DX, like even like Sean Waltman, I think is the youngest one of them. Like he looks like he's like in his 40s.
Well, that's what he gets for doing a video with China.
Mm,
Yeah.
yep. Yeah. Well, let's see here, and let's talk about the good stuff, not the WTF stuff.
Oh,
Um,
what
what
you
was your
got?
favorite? Oh, was that?
Go ahead. What you got?
What's your favorite newcomer to the WWE this year?
Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe, really?
I'm just glad he's there. Like him and James Storm. Like slowly but surely, Triple H is going to eventually win Vince over and have like the good TNA talent come over. Because I mean, it's not long before he gets Jeff Hardy back or Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, like a Jay Lethal, like a Bobby Roode or God, God, like not Desmond Wolfe. That dude was way beyond gone, but God, it's like, God, there's like so many of them. Like they were so good that WWE could do a lot with.
True, true. Yeah, they could. Yeah. Well, I don't know if they book him any better than TNA did, because of the fact I didn't watch much TNA myself. But yeah, they had some good guys from TNA. They have Samoa Joe, who was wrestling probably the best I've seen him in years. James Storm, who apparently is not under contract, but he's made a couple appearances. Um, which is one good thing I do like about NXT is that they have guys like that for brief periods of time, and nothing really committal. Um, yeah. Well, I got to go with Kevin Owens.
Well, yeah, there's that
Yeah,
choice.
I mean, it's just the guy is just he showed up at NXT, kicked butt, became champion, continued to kick butt, showed up in the WWE, and I was just glad I was there for his debut
Oh yeah,
on
that was
Raw.
the Richmond Raw.
I lost my shit literally um, watching that happen. It was just like, well, who's gonna come up with the open challenge? It's Kevin freaking Owens, and that was awesome. Came in, made a huge statement. He's lost the Intercontinental Championship, but he's maybe having maybe a good feud with Dean Ambrose will help both those guys put them over. So yeah, I mean, in terms of a first year, you really can't ask for anything better than that.
I don't know that putting the belt on Ambrose was such a great idea. Does he need it? Like I thought Owens like needed it more. I mean, the fact that he lost to Neville in 30 seconds.
Yeah, yeah, that was well. I mean, that's just what will happen. So yeah, again, it's stupid.
Oh, okay, it's just about every match he had. He even made Ryback look interesting, and that says a lot.
That does say a lot. Ryback is garbage.
Well, that goes to the underrated match of the year, Kalisto beating Ryback. But dude, yeah, like it's just like his whole demeanor. It's like his entrance is, the way he comes out, his music, and then just the way he kicks ass. He's not exactly prototypical wrestler.
No. No, and the one thing I like about him too is his personality is a lot different than other heels. Like he's definitely the chaotic evil of actually he's more a chaotic neutral if you ask me. He's not really evil. Well, I mean he's kind of a bad guy. But yeah, the fact that he's just like I'm just out there to make money. That's the only thing I'm doing is kicking butt to make money to feed my family, and that's to me that's an awesome motivation right there for being a bad guy.
Indeed, I like it.
Um, man, I'm trying to think of
Well,
other
okay,
good categories.
we already got superstar of the year, but here's a different one.
Yeah.
Who was your MVP? Because there has to be at
Ooh.
least one person.
Man, one person you think that carry the company besides superstar of the year?
Well, you know how sometimes like a pitcher tries to win Cy Young or
Hmm.
wins a Cy Young, but they don't win the MVP, but clearly they were the best person in the league.
Right.
Sort of like maybe it wasn't Seth Rollins.
Man. Well, I think my Trooper of the Year award it goes to Rusev.
Mm. Well, I can understand why, but that's tough.
Yeah, I mean he didn't have the best matches, but he put up with a lot of shit. Welcome to your sophomore year there, Rusev, and the fact that you're still around and I don't know if being in the League of Nations hurts you or hinders you, but at least you're still very relevant. And yeah, I mean, he had some of the worst storylines of the year. He lost the belt to Cena. He lost multiple times to Cena. And yet he still kept on going. And by God, being a bad storyline with Dolph Ziggler, being a bad love quadrangle with Dolph Ziggler, and staying there. But actually, you know what? I think about this. MVP of the year, the most like underrated guy, who didn't have the best year though, but was probably Bray Wyatt.
I could see that. That's not where I was going with any of that at all. But
Oh, well, who do you have as your MVP of the year?
Undertaker,
I don't, he guys showed up for how many pay-per-views?
it doesn't matter. Think about it. He was a one match a year guy for the last 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Comes out to Battleground and kicks freaking Lesnar in the jewels,
Yep.
and then they has a SummerSlam match.
Hmm.
He has like a Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
He had a freaking and the build up for that match where they're kicking each other's asses on Raw was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I gotta admit that.
And then they had the WrestleMania match with Bray Wyatt, and then the Survivor Series stuff with Bray Wyatt. So he's wrestled about 4, 5, 6 times this year, and that's way more than we've ever gotten for a long time.
So because he wrestled more than usual, he deserves our admiration.
Well, think about it. The dude's almost 50, so it's like he's
Yeah.
getting close to a retirement tour.
Yep.
And and honestly, I think he wrestled more than Brock Lesnar did. So
True.
it should
True.
say something for that.
Well, I want to actually go back to our predictions from 2015, the start of the year. We made predictions in terms of like what we thought would happen. I didn't write down yours, but I wrote down mine.
Could I add something super fast before we do this?
Yeah.
Okay, real quick. So when you talk about Rusev, he
Mm,
lost a lot to Cena. He had
right.
a bad angle with Ziggler. He went from being super undefeated and like invincible to jobbing out constantly. But at the end of the day, he's banging Lana and they're getting married. So at the end, I don't feel bad for him like, at all. Do you?
No, just having Lana, I think is definitely making up for quite a bit of that. So,
He gets to go to bed with her every night. You cannot say he's having a bad time at all. So predictions, sir.
predictions from last year. Let's see here. I actually got a couple of these right. Number five, John Cena never wins the belt by beating the big world championship, and I was correct. He has not won his the world heavyweight championship all this year.
Thank God. Wait, hold on. How many opportunities did he have though? I mean, it was the Rumble, and then he fought Rollins at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
That was it.
that was it. Yeah, that's pretty much all the chances he had. Um, but yeah, not not complaining about that. I think having him as like the mid card definitely helped people out and made him still relevant. So it wasn't a bad choice. My number four prediction. I predicted five new champions in 2015. I only got two of these right.
Wait. In what regard? Talking about the
The
WWE.
new world heavyweight champion.
So wait, hold on. It was Lesnar, then it was Rollins, then it was Reigns,
Right.
and then it was Sheamus, and then Reigns got it back.
Right.
So I mean, it happened 5 different times.
Yeah, it did happen five different times, but I also predicted that Wyatt, Ambrose, and Dolph Ziggler would win it too. Maybe I was just being optimistic.
Well, to be fair, one of them technically did win it for like 10 seconds.
Mm, that is true. That is true. So yeah, I guess it was kind of right there.
To be fair, I mean, they did say the and new WWE champion.
Yeah. Well, that's not really quite the same thing. I got to go for actual real champions. Number three, Authority storyline will be over by mid-year, and yeah, it was kind of over. Ever since Seth Rollins got hurt, it's been the Authority's there, but they're not the dominant. They're not really even a faction anymore. There's not even there's no Kane, there's no J&J Security. Randy Orton went off and got hurt, and actually he left them. So there really is an Authority, but I mean there kind of is. So kind of correct in that one.
No, it, they're around, but it's more like they're like a shadow government.
They're not directly involved with any of that.
It's more like okay, guy, like who's like the new emperor in the Star Wars movie?
Supreme Commander Snoke.
Yeah, that guy. Like they're Snoke.
Yeah, that's true. There's
So
Snoke. Seth Rollins is so Kylo Ren.
yeah, and not to go on a tangent, he looks nowhere close to. Never mind. You know what I'm saying? I think he wasn't casted well. That's
You don't think he looks like Han Solo or Princess Leia?
not a chance in hell.
See, I think he looks just like their kid would look.
He's got the biggest nose I've ever seen.
He does have big features, but you know what? It doesn't really matter. I mean, does Hayden Christensen look like Mark Hamill?
Well, more so than Adam Driver looks like Harrison.
Well, he's using the dark side, okay?
Yeah, for a lot of hair. That's
Yeah.
the point. All right, so yes,
Anyway, while we're on this tangent, you did see Star Wars, right?
yes, I did.
Okay. What grade would you give that? Because we're reviewing everything.
I'll give it a solid B.
Solid B. Well, that's better than I thought you would. I would give it a solid A, not an A plus, because I think there was some clunky stuff to it, but I think it definitely felt like the first good Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi.
I know what you posted that picture, but dude, there's so many similarities to A New Hope that like it's disgusting.
Yeah, well, we're really going off a tangent, and we're talking about Star Wars. Actually, we really need to do a Star Wars podcast. Anyway, next up, NXT returns to TV, but pay-per-views will still be on the network. I really botched this one. I have no idea why I thought NXT would return to TV. I thought they would maybe they want to keep it on the network and have people subscribe just to watch NXT, which is the reason for watching it. Um, so I really got that one wrong. Finally, Vince McMahon retires. Definitely wrong there too. So
You know what they should do? I'm sorry, they should. I know they're hyping up SmackDown coming on the USA Network, but
mhm.
how long before they just take a dump on that? Just put SmackDown on the network, put NXT on USA Network.
Yeah, well, I wonder how many people would actually watch NXT. That was the thing.
Well, I think they've carved out enough of an audience that even like if okay, there's got to be enough people out there who only pay to watch NXT. There's got to be something out there.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't used the network except for watching NXT and the pay-per-views every month. So there you go. I might be that one person.
So I honestly think NXT would get higher ratings than SmackDown.
Ooh. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. It's definitely the better promotion of the year. No doubt about that.
So do you want to do some predictions for next year?
Ah, man, I haven't even thought about what I'm predicting next year. 2016 just seems like I mean, they're so without a direction right now. It's almost ridiculous. But yeah, well, let's take some few shots.
So tell me this then. What do you think about The Rock at WrestleMania?
I think he'll make an appearance, make a lot of money, show up for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then disappear.
You don't think he's gonna actually do the Ronda Rousey Triple H Stephanie match?
I don't think they would be allowed to do that because I don't think Ronda would be allowed to wrestle.
Well, it's not like she's doing anything else than getting her ass kicked.
Yeah, I know. But she may be in the corner of the Rock, but I don't think she's gonna be able to wrestle.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I think we can muster up a couple predictions.
I think we can do projections here. So do you want to go first? Want me to go first?
I will go first. And this is gonna be more of an immediate thing,
Mm.
but I think that the Royal Rumble will be the first time since '92 that the belt will be on the line for the Rumble match.
Ooh.
Like I don't There's got to be something to where Sheamus loses his title match next week, and Vince and Stephanie are so pissed off that they strip Roman of the belt anyway and put it on the line in the Rumble, and then they make Roman Reigns the number one entrant.
Hmm. Okay.
To where he's got to go through the whole roster and maybe Brock Lesnar.
Wow. And if he's not over by the end of that, then they're totally doing their jobs wrong. Well, I'm gonna go with my number four. Well, number four. I'm just gonna go with my prediction for it. Stephen Amell will wrestle at WrestleMania.
You think his Stardust feud's not over?
I think he's still got more juice in the tank, and really, it was a good cross promotion. He didn't look like a complete idiot out there, and he's having a blast doing it. So I say go ahead and um, come on back.
Well, okay, sans Brawl for All. Find me a celebrity who had a one-on-one WrestleMania match by themselves.
Mr. T had the boxing match.
Well, god damn it, what is that one?
It wasn't really a wrestling match. I give you that one. Um,
You remember when Snooki had the WrestleMania
oh
match?
God, don't remind me. She wasn't too terrible, but man, fuck the Jersey Shore.
So I'm saying, like, I don't think they're gonna give him a one-on-one spot at WrestleMania with anybody.
Mm.
It would be nice, but I don't see that happening. Do you realize how much time they have to give Stardust to build him back up? Like, that's just a lot of time to make Stardust relevant again.
Yeah, true, true. Um, well, that's my prediction, though. What do you got? Anything else?
Uh, yeah, let's. Hmm, you know, I think Triple H actually retires from in-ring competition.
Well, he's done like one match a year for the last couple. Actually, you know what? The last 2014, he had a lot of matches. He had, well, let's say a lot of matches, but he had a few active matches. So
Oh, you mean the Evolution Shield stuff?
yeah, that was. I mean, that was pretty damn good stuff.
Yeah. Okay, fine. I'll change it then. How about Sting returns and actually wins a match?
All right. Well, that's some wishful thinking there. I'm gonna go with. Man, I really don't have anything. I'm gonna go with something crazy. Since we're getting a lot more factions in the WWE, I'm seeing that somehow the Shield reunites.
No, there's no way. Like, if Rollins comes back as a face, it's because Roman is a heel,
Yeah.
and Dean Ambrose is gonna be whatever he wants to be. But there's no way that Rollins returns as a good guy and Reigns is a good guy because Rollins is gonna win a title match.
Do we have a ETA for Rollins' return?
They said 6 to 9 months.
Ooh, and he got hurt in what?
Your best,
October?
I remember. So your best bet, honestly, is SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's probably by summer. Well, all right. How about this then? They almost did it in a pay-per-view, but I'm thinking Shield triple threat match.
Oh, actually, no, I'll top that. I think Seth Rollins wins Money in the Bank again. Like that's his return. Like he comes in as like some surprise entrant, wins
Yeah.
Money in the Bank, and then cashes it in on Roman Reigns.
Well, stranger things have happened.
Well, I mean, like, what else is there? Like, they booked themselves into a corner because what else can they do with Cena or Lesnar at this point? Like, Triple H is ancient. Like, Sting is busted up with a broken neck. Like, there's unless you push Kevin Owens to the moon or Dean Ambrose, I don't see what options they have.
Yeah, that was a big sigh there. Yeah, it's kind of hard to say.
Well, let me ask you, how long does Roman Reigns keep the belt?
I'm thinking to at least WrestleMania because they do better when they have stable champions. But unless, of course, they go with your plan, which is just screw it, we'll just go ahead and have it at the Royal Rumble. So I'm thinking WrestleMania is probably when he drops it to somebody else.
There's no way. Honestly, forgive me. Okay, new prediction: Roman Reigns keeps the belt at WrestleMania.
Well, that's a pretty bold prediction. Sure, sure you want to go with that?
Well, yeah. Well, think about it. Like, if he keeps the belt all the way to Mania, then he's gonna beat whoever the challenger is and keep going. Well, he's getting the Cena Batista push. Like, there's barring injury, he's keeping that belt
Mm,
unless my prediction is true, which I hope.
unless it
But
is.
then, but then again, if he wins the Rumble and the belt back, he's three-time champion within 3 months. Like he could beat Ric Flair by like January of next year. Like, come on. Now what about now? Okay, how about this? Real quick, like 2 or 3 minutes here. Let's play psychic here. What kind of year do you see John Cena having?
John Cena, what?
What kind of year does John Cena have?
John Cena. John Cena comes back, has a few good matches, but I think overall, he is distracted by doing TV series. So he'd much rather take a months off wrestling. Doesn't win any belts, but has good matches.
I I hate myself for saying this, but I feel like he will win the WWE title this year.
I hate you for saying
Like,
that too.
but they can't. I mean, if Ric Flair can come out on TV with Jon Stewart and say, "I want Cena to break my record," then what's stopping them from making that happen?
The fans are right.
Well, the fans have been writing for 10 years and they haven't listened.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, for some way, like if but this only works if Roman Reigns turns heel. Like, okay, real quick then. If who does Roman Reigns face at WrestleMania? If I gave you Lesnar, Cena, or Kevin Owens, what's more likely?
Lesnar, Caesar, or Kevin Owens. I'm going John Cena.
You think so?
I think so. I think if they want to turn Cena, that would be the perfect time to do it at WrestleMania.
More so than a cheesy heel face versus face match.
They do a face versus face, but he turns heel when he wins the match.
Now, what about Cena versus Undertaker?
Nah, they would never do that.
It's the only match Undertaker hasn't done yet.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't think they'll ever do that.
Okay, so you got I'll tell you, I got Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar in a rematch.
Ooh.
I'll
Interesting,
take
but I don't know what they're gonna do with Brock Lesnar. I mean, it's just he's only gonna be there temporary. They probably wouldn't put the belt on him again. That's always kind of stupid.
well,
Um,
it's unfinished business now.
yeah, true.
If you want to put Reigns over as the man,
You haven't beat
you
Brock
haven't
Lesnar.
you haven't beat Lesnar clean at WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's the only way they can. Yeah, that would totally put him over. So I could see that. I could really see that.
Trying to think. Okay, what about the Divas? Like, does Nikki Bella come back and win the belt?
No. I think that I predict the Divas division to actually focus more on wrestling and actually maybe focus more on storylines this year. And it won't be the Nikki Bella show.
All right. Well, one last thing.
All right.
Which NXT right now is gonna come? How many NXTers are coming up to the main roster? And do any of them win a title belt?
um, the NXTers that come to the main roster, I think, are going to be Cass and Enzo.
And you can't
Teach
teach
that.
that.
Cass and Enzo, because those guys, like, they would have had the belts by now. Just put them in the tag team scene. I think that would be a really good counterweight to New Day because they're kind of got the same shtick almost in terms of like they're really good on the mic and decent in the ring. And just their verbal battles would be hilarious. Um,
Just no one-on-one Big Cass and Big E match.
yeah, it'd be pretty big disappointment for both of us.
But
Um, I'm also going to go with Baron Corbin. I think is probably his time to be pushed to the main roster. He's definitely looked a lot better in the ring. If he can stay, relatively cardio healthy, that should be good.
what about a healthy Hideo Itami or Sami Zayn?
Sami Zayn, yeah. Sami Zayn, I think will easily be in the main roster next year, at least by SummerSlam. I do want to see him though take on Finn Balor for the belt though. But I really don't see anybody else at this point. They have a lot of fresh faces. Samoa Joe, I think will probably never go to the main roster because he's probably will just have more fun in TNA and just doing independent booking than doing that.
Well, okay, so Finn Balor doesn't leave.
I don't think so. I think he's just having too much fun doing that, and you know, I really don't see what they would do with him in the main roster. But yeah, guys like Apollo Crews, I think they definitely want to have him for a little bit more while, a little bit longer to polish him. Maybe
Well,
Bailey.
yeah.
I can see her being pushed to the main event roster, main roster. So
The problem with Finn Balor is that like part of his aura is his entrance,
right.
and for TV time, they would have to cut his entrance down to where I don't think it would be the same thing that the fans are into.
Well, they just have to keep it for pay-per-views and just keep it special each time. So they'll probably work on that. So
So no one, no, like who are those other chicks that are not chicks, but women wrestlers that are?
we have Emma, Asuka, Dana Brooke, Nadia Jax.
What about the redhead?
Oh, Eva Marie.
Yeah.
She's got a lot of work to do.
Okay. It's,
Um, and yeah, maybe Emma could see moving up to the main roster, but she needs to get a better gimmick. Than being oh goodness, what's this guy's name? The Italian guy.
Super Mario.
Yeah, that guy. What the, I forget his name. Anyway, so we're almost up in time. So next week, I guess we'll probably give maybe a few more predictions for the next year, and talk about that week's Raw, and maybe we'll find some other. We need to do a top five at some point too.
Yeah. So I have a little bit of time this week. Is there any retro you want to throw out there? Any
Yeah, I
undisputed?
might have some time to do a retro too.
So
But I'm just trying to think of something that I haven't like.
I have an option, and you can pick it if or not.
Yeah,
We're coming up on the new year.
we are.
Do you remember New Year's Revolution?
By ECW.
The WWE, like, it was like the January pay per view at the very beginning of the year that like you know how Raw next week has the Sheamus Roman Reigns match.
Right.
It would have been a pay per view if New Year's Revolution was still around. It's like that stopgap to the Royal Rumble.
Right.
Like they had that one. They did it for a couple years, but they had the 1 year, the very first Money in the Bank cashing in of Edge and Cena.
Right.
It was like an elimination chamber match. They had Flair and Edge in like a TLC match, I think it was. Just an option, come into the new year, New Year's Revolution, maybe.
We could. Yeah, okay. So we'll watch that then if
I
it's
mean,
decent.
they had a couple of years, so I'm not trying to pigeonhole you into the Edge Cena year.
No, let's do the first one. Why not?
Alrighty then.
All right. Well then, for the hashtag Wrestling Podcast, I've been your host, Turnbuckle Jim. Make sure to like us, dislike us, comment on us. Wonder where Tim is. Start a flame war with Brian, and we'll see you next week, folks.
We will find him like Leslie Nielsen found Undertaker.